All right, folks, time to zero in on the perfect CZ Scorpion. Okay, before I show you the build, this thing started off its life as a CZ Scorpion 3+ Micro. It is the shortest configuration from factory of a CZ Scorpion. This one in particular is a newer variant. The reason I went with this one over the older, say, Evo 3 would be because it has AR controls as far as magazine release, that sort of thing, which gives you a huge benefit as far as being able to have your mags drop free when you push the AR mag release. This thing I picked up for about $770. It's a great price. I think I snagged it off of Locked and Loaded. Shout out those guys. Super good deal. This thing MSRP is like $1,100 or something like that, so pretty happy just to be able to get it. One thing I learned quickly though, as a lot of Scorpion owners do, these things suffer from one major fault, I'll say, just as any other direct blowback 9mm does. So it doesn't have any sort of delay system at all, and it suffers from bolt bounce, which is basically when your bolt is cycling back and forth and you're shooting very quickly, occasionally you can pull that trigger before your bolt fully seats, causing an out of battery detonation. So that's not good. Basically just makes your entire receiver explode into a million bits and potentially injures you. So that was one concern. I could have just swapped the bolt on this and kept it as is, but I wanted to make the best build I could. I've seen a lot of people, even on Reddit, doing a lot of interesting builds, but nobody's really put a lot of time and energy to make it perfect. People just kind of deal with the issues of building on a small PCC, you know, workarounds. They end up being a little bulky, odd part choices. There's some cool ones out there, but I thought I could do better. So that being said, this is the perfect CZ Scorpion. This thing, I'll show you it's clear real quick. This thing, I would say, is probably about a $2,000 build, somewhere in there. First thing I did was upgrade that bolt. So this is the Nexus Firearms upgraded bolt for the CZ Scorpion, cost about $400. And all that does is the bottom piece of the bolt, which I'll show you. So the bottom piece of the bolt right here on the OEM bolt, this is a subpar material. It's not strong enough and it just wears out over time. All right, long story short, this thing, without this bolt, could blow up. Now, it can't blow up. That's great, happy with that. The other thing is I upgraded this upper receiver here. This is also from Nexus Firearms. It is completely made out of aluminum, which is definitely better than the polymer the old receiver was made from. Also, if it were to have an out of battery detonation, which is technically now impossible, it wouldn't completely shatter, seeing as it's aluminum. It's more likely to crack, if anything. I have an Angstadt Arms blast device, just a blast forwarding device. This attaches via 3-lug onto an HB Industries 3-lug micro barrel. So the shortest length. Adding that barrel as opposed to the OEM barrel, which actually stops right about here, gives me essentially this much length of rifling that I didn't get out of this barrel. That's just non-existent because it attaches back here. My barrel is now longer, has more rifling, and has that 3-lug system. But as you can see, they end up at the same length. So I now have better velocity, accuracy, all that sort of thing, while easily being able to pull this off and attach a suppressor. Probably the best suppressor mount method for a 9mm PCC especially, but yeah, happy with that. So all of that is being housed inside the Strike Industries micro handguard here. These guys just came out, also all aluminum to match the receiver from Nexus. I've got an angled grip, from Strike Industries here, as well as sights from them. So these are flip up irons, but you can see when they're down, they have that pistol sight, and when we're folded up, they're more like traditional rifle sights. Strike Industries medium-sized charging handle, as well as safety selectors down here. They're about to release, I believe, the magazine release that is ambi. Even though this thing is ambi, we'll probably end up swapping that out to the strike one as soon as that's available. You know, I did throw the brace, the dual folding brace, also from Strike, just to kind of sum it up, and their pistol grip for the CZ Scorpion as well. This is definitely, hands down, the most ergonomic and comfortable, controllable grip to put on a Scorpion. I tried a couple of things before. Originally I was using just the standard grip from factory. It is actually kind of ergonomic as far as being more of a CZ75 grip angle, or as close to it as you're really gonna get here. But this thing's kind of hard. There's not much you know, texture or squish to it, so it's just a solid piece of plastic. I then swapped to using this Strike Industries AR pistol grip adapter. This thing, as much as I like it, it just was not comfortable. It sort of moves your entire hand down, which then throws the balance of the entire firearm off. So I liked it because I could use whatever AR grip I wanted to. However, in the long run, I just didn't like the balancing of the weapon. So from that, I picked this guy up, and it is clearly superior, much more ergonomic, but still remains that, that traditional balance and grip angle there. Up top, I've got a Sig Romeo 5. That's all you need. That's all you need. I probably will throw a better sight on here, but for right now, I mean, this thing works. So, you know, it's not really about the optic on here, it's about the gun itself. Run these, run Holosun, run, you know, cheap Vortex sights, whatever you want, you know. As long as you have a dot and it stays zeroed, you're good to go, especially on something like a PCC. You don't need the most robust optic. It's just gonna add a lot of weight. One thing I really like about this is that you can see the way that the optic is on its riser. There's a window here, which I can still make use of the pistol style iron sights, backup iron sights, essentially allowing you to shoot this thing actually like a pistol if you needed to, in a hurry, assuming your optic went down for whatever reason. You just pull this thing out, get on target, and at least be somewhat accurate. So that sort of stems from the heritage of this thing being based off of the VZ61 Scorpion, but that's a whole other thing. I ended up doing some upgrades to the lower. Mainly, I swapped out the trigger springs as well as the trigger. So this is a Theta trigger from HB Industries. Pretty solid. I'd say it's a lot better than the factory trigger, which for the record actually sucks. This is a decent trigger for a PCC. Not too bad, but nothing special. It's got a good reset. You know, it's a pretty smooth pull, but it's not like a crisp defined wall or break. That being said, it is good. It only costs $100, so it's a lot better than like a Timney for $275 or something like that. All right, so just pull on, and it just sort of goes off. It's just a rolling break. Sort of like a Glock trigger, but even more of a roll than that. And then the reset, just kind of, it's a little gritty. I mean, it almost doesn't move at all, and then it just snaps into its reset once you let off quite a bit of tension. That being said, I mean, you can fire this thing pretty quickly. One day soon, somebody will make one of those force reset selectors for this thing, so I'm waiting for that. You know, pretty cool build. I've got, I don't know, maybe $2,000 into this thing. It's solid. It shoots a lot better than the OEM Scorpion. It feels better, and it's more optimally set up to actually be run suppressed. So I look forward to using this as sort of a nighttime gun, get into some night vision stuff potentially down the road. But I will be getting a can to put on this pretty soon. I'm thinking the Spectre 9 from Silencer Co. So I've got this thing feeding out of 35 round PMags. These things are pretty legit. The one thing is you are gonna have to sand off this section right here. It takes about like 30 seconds per mag. Just take any old sandpaper, just give it a little sanding, and these things will drop free, no problems. Just to show you. Nice. Of course, when loading these, you gotta give it the old CZ slap. A little bit different than the HK one. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share this build, show you guys what I'm cooking up here, maybe give you guys some ideas. But yeah, I'd probably say this is the best CZ Scorpion on the internet. It could have a suppressor. I could swap out this optic. I'm aware of that. But in current configuration, I think this is the best CZ Scorpion on the internet. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments below. If you've made it this far into the video, consider liking and subscribing. It helps out the channel. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.